This lighting's better or worse than my last video, but I had to go inside. You can see my face now. So tired. Anyway, I wanted to make this video a particular update called I got a thing put in my arm. Yep. So I did a lot of looking on YouTube about people who got the Nexplanon implant and decided to get it myself. Well, that, and I read the pamphlets and talked to the doctor. All that shenanigans, but that's common sense. My hair's so frizzy. Oh, I'm so sorry, people. So sorry. Anyway, I got the Nexplanon implant put in my arm about 2 weeks ago, and I just wanted to give an update on how it's going. There's people who are on YouTube that are like, yeah, it's amazing, or no, it's terrible. And you know what? I'm on either side of the fence about it, because for one, the healing process sucked with it, because there's a big bruise on my arm and I work warehouse. For those that don't know, for those that do know, I work warehouse, guys, which means I'm lifting boxes all day, and I had a box land on my arm on day 1 and it sucked. So that was kind of a minus for me, you know. But it's also a plus, because if I can't deal with that, then might as well not even bother. So, neutral point. And feeling something under my skin's kind of icky for me, so I try not to touch it. Like, for the first couple days, I was just fascinated there was something there, and I kept touching it. Now I try not to touch it, because it's really weird. I have a thing under my skin. Alien abduction, why? And so there's that. I haven't really noticed anything. It's healing really well, if you can't tell. You know, just a tiny spot on my arm. For a week, I didn't go to the gym or anything because they said not to stress it out for at least 48 hours, and I overdid it and decided to wait a week. Because I was not going to have any complications. As God is my witness, I was going to make sure nothing happened. I also let my boss at work know, so that way they could stop putting me with all the heavy boxes and instead put me with some of the lighter ones and give me different tasks. So that way I can still go to work and not have to call out. So it didn't really impact my wallet. My insurance did cover it 100%, which was great. Also, all the research I did said that it was the #1 thing on the market, so I just decided, hey, I don't want children. Let's go with the best possible option. I've been on the pill for about 10 years. It was a combination pill. And I was fine. I had no real issues with it, but of course, since I'd been on it for 10 years, I wouldn't know if there were any issues anymore, kind of a thing. You know, just so used to life. So I was nervous switching over because people said they had cramping and moodiness and they went nuts and they couldn't stand it and had to take it out. I haven't had anything that was like, I can't stand it. I mean, I was mildly irritable for about the first week because it's new hormones introduced to your system. Of course you're going to be irritable. I mean, who isn't? Give anybody some estrogen or some progesterone at any other time and they'll become irritable and moody or cry. I didn't cry. I just became irritable. Like, angry all the time. So, that was okay, I guess. I mean, it wasn't anything irrational. I mean, I didn't, like, want to go kill people. So, we're good. As far as how my mood was affected. As far as how my body was affected, my body decided to go, hey, you've been on the pill for 10 years, which made it so that way I didn't have a natural cycle. I just had whatever the pill dictated for my cycle, which was about the 5-day placebo week, or 7-day placebo week, once a month for every pill I've been on. I haven't been on any of those fancy pills that take your periods out. So I was already on my placebo week when I went and got it put in, so I was like, okay, this is fine. I'm still bleeding, that's fine. Kind of a thing, but it's been about 2 weeks and I'm still spotting. I'm doing that spotting thing where you bleed a little bit, just a tiny bit, enough to need something to make sure you don't bleed through your pants, but not enough to actually need like a maxi pad. I'm sorry, that was TMI. This entire video is TMI. You know what? I'm sorry for the entire video, guys. If you don't like it, please click away. But enough that You need something. And that's been about 2 weeks. And then it just stops for a couple hours. And I get excited. I'm like, yeah, it's over. Yeah, we're done. We're done. And my body goes, psych. And I'm like, oh, got my hopes up, man. But it's nothing unmanageable. I mean, I'll cope with it for now. I mean, if it lasts for like 3 months, then need to go talk to somebody about that. But a couple weeks, not a big deal. Still bleeding, by the way. But when it stops, you know, you get the signs that it's going to stop and your body's just clearing everything out that's been left over, kind of a thing. So I get that, and then suddenly I start bleeding again. So, spotting, pretty bad. But it's something I'll cope with. Everybody else was like, oh my god, I started bleeding and it was terrible. I was gushing blood everywhere. And I'm like, this is okay. Just a little bit, here and there. We're good. Kind of a thing. It's something I can cope with and something that doesn't really affect my life that much. So as far as physical responses, that's all I got, guys. Oh, and my headaches. I would usually get a headache, normally every couple days or so, just right here in the front of my head. And it's there for like a couple minutes and goes away. Nothing major, you know, pretty regular thing. Now it's like every day I get the small headache in my head and stays for a little bit longer than before. It's still less than like 10 minutes, so not a big deal. I cope with it. I've already discussed it with my doctor for those who are about to be like, oh no, you need to get that checked out. I got it. And we're good. I mean, I got an inner ear infection, but I consider that unrelated to the birth control. So I wanted to just post my neutral response because everybody was either one side of the fence or the other. It's pretty okay. I mean, I'm glad I don't got to take a pill every day because I've been doing that for 10 years and I would keep forgetting every so often, or I just wouldn't be home or something. My schedule was too erratic to have it. And my family has bad history with IUDs, so instead I went for the implant. Oh, and I hate needles, so I couldn't do the shot. No, I couldn't. Needles, Saying the one with piercings. Okay, medical needles. I'll clarify. Medical needles I have an issue with. Piercing needles, no problem. I know where it's going and I know it's going through something, not injecting anything. Injections I have an issue with. Anyway, that was my neutral response to Nexplanon. I'll post an update in a couple weeks or whenever I get around to it about how that's doing. My sleep hasn't really been affected. I'm usually a pretty bad sleeper as it is, so I don't feel like that's been affected. I don't feel like anything else has been affected. Please leave comments in the comments below. Okay, because I don't know what questions to answer about this right now. I just know there were a lot of things that people were like either really loved or really hated, and that'd be the only thing they talk about. So if you have any questions, feel free to comment. I'll try my best to answer them as best I can. About how I feel on the Nexplanon, what it is versus other things to me anyway, my opinion on it. You know, if you just want another person's opinion on it. Because I know I was looking for it and not many people I knew had it, and so I'm hoping I can help. Okay. Love you. Bye.